Hey there, Ride the Car Guy here, and today let's go ahead and add a subwoofer to the Titan. So I replaced all of the door speakers in the Titan, but they don't really have any bass, and we're not looking to go crazy here, as you can tell. We just got a self-powered under-seat subwoofer that we're going to stuff behind the passenger seats in the rear. So we're actually going to start with the positive power cable, because that's always the biggest pain in the butt, because you have to find a way from outside the vehicle in the vehicle. So we're going to start with that, then we're going to run our RCAs and our remote cable, and then we should be good to go. So the unit I bought is really compact. It's a tiny little 8-inch subwoofer. I'm not 16 anymore. I don't need two 15s in the rear going crazy. So I just want a little bit more than what I have right now. So the beauty of it being so tiny is I can fit anywhere. So I'm putting it back here. There's still a ton of space. We could really get one of those truck box style ones where they're kind of slanted on the front. But this one's actually designed to go under the seats as well. So if you wanted to put it in under the passenger or driver's seat in the front, you could do that too. And the beauty of putting it back here is that there's holes in the back of the cab that will give us access to the outside. So for this, you don't have to take any of these clips out. If you just sort of like not so gently pull up on it, you can access the back really easily. You have your vent here, which goes straight to the outside. We could run it through there, but there's also that little grommet that I already pulled out to test. You can see I already broke it, but if you pull that out, that will go directly to the outside. All right, if I pull that out, there's your hole directly to the outside. And we just need to grab our cable and feed it through there. There we go. All right, comes through and it's outside. And then I'll find a way to fix that grommet or either just make my own or do something there, seal it up. So we have all of our extra slack now. So all we need to do is run this all the way up the bottom, probably along the frame. Wherever you see wire looms running basically underneath your vehicle should be safe to put this, zip tie it around it, and then bring it up into the engine bay. All right, so we ran it all the way up the side. I ran it against a loom that was running on the side of the frame, and then I sort of ran it up the wheel well and then into the engine bay. Now it's coming out here, and I cut this earlier because it has a little connector already on it that we're gonna put on the positive battery terminal. So next we have our fuse housing, and I'm actually gonna screw it onto our relay box, but that's only because I have a couple relays missing down here. There's two here missing, and so I'm gonna screw it in there. If you do this, make sure to pull this off and make sure you have space here. So basically I'm gonna slide it on here and then screw it in like that. And then we put one side in here, other side goes to the battery, and then we have our fuse. All right, so it's on there pretty tight. Just pull these out and push the cable through this first before you take the casing off of it, because it makes it a lot easier. Then throw it in like that. We can just slide that back. And now strip this out and put it into the link. The link actually comes out, which is nice. And you want to cut, I don't know, a little less than 1/2 inch off of it. Unscrew this, slide it in. There we go. Tighten it down. And then do the same on the other side, and then we'll connect our fuse. All right, now that both sides are connected, we're going to put our fuse in. But you want to run one through first because it kind of slides through the casing. So we're going to we'll push this one through. Doesn't really matter. Push that through, just like that. And then put the fuse in and then slide it back through the casing. And now that the fuse is in, screw it on and push in your outer seal. Now that that's done, we're gonna leave this off. Do not connect this until we're absolutely done wiring everything else. Now that that's set, the ground we're gonna take care of last minute. That's obviously sitting right at the side of the amplifier. And then now we're gonna deal with our RCA cables. That's gonna give us the sound. And then we have our remote. That's gonna actually turn the amplifier on and off. So, and these, be super careful. They made these out of, I don't know, I guess paper or something. So if you look at it wrong, it's gonna snap. So just be really careful taking these off. But I already have my aftermarket radio in. Oop, something fell. Nice. It's one of my clamps. Yep. So gently take that off. There you go. I do love that. I think I forgot the number, but it's like 85 or 90% of Nissans are just snapped together. Nothing's actually screwed in. So if you just pop that off, you have access to 4 screws. Mine are Phillips. Yours could be different because if you have a different radio in, but we're just gonna slide that out, plug these 2 in. This is gonna be a butt connector to the remote cable coming out of the radio. And this is just gonna plug directly into the back of the radio. So get our screwdriver and we'll pop that out. All right, so I'm gonna unplug everything from the radio and just set it aside. Makes it a lot easier. I only have my microphone, the main cable, and the antenna. And then, oh, I guess there's a USB, but that's fine. Actually, yeah, that doesn't disconnect, so we'll just set it like that. Perfect. And then now we need to find our remote cable. So the remote cable on most radios is gonna be either solid blue or it'll be blue with a white stripe. Mine's blue with a white stripe. And then we're just gonna, I just have a butt connector. So I'm gonna grab that one end of my remote cable and then just butt splice these together. Just get the smallest one you can. I have a little red one. It's usually like 16 to 20 gauge. So just slide those in and crimp them together. And I'm gonna wrap some electrical tape around this too, just to make sure it doesn't contact anything. And then we just gotta grab our RCAs. The back of the radio will just have the RCAs, or sometimes it's part of the little connector. It's part of the harness. But in here, it's just straight into the back of the radio. It says rear or front. I'm just gonna use the rear. We'll do, the blue will be red and the gray will be white in this case. Great. So now we just gotta take the other ends of those cables, run them down. I'm gonna run them under the foot, well, I guess technically over the footwell of the passenger side, and then down the side of the Titan. You should be able to go down the right side and then make it down to the footwell on the right side of your little console down here, and then run it across. Because of the pedals and steering, I try to avoid going on the driver's side as much as I can. So, you know, it's up to you, but try to go on the passenger side. It's less stuff going on over here. All right, so I have it on each side, and I'm just gonna pull all the slack down until I have just a little bit of space left up here, because obviously if you're pulling the radio out, you want a little bit of room. So pull those down, plug them in, and then we'll put the radio back in. All right, always do one last check before putting it all back together, because you don't want to take it all back apart, right? So we have our main connector, we have the microphone, that's just from the, you know, Bluetooth. Well, I have my camera, that's a new one that I'm running, my audio, and the antenna. And then make sure that you put your remote wire on, which mine is right there. So we're ready to rock. So we'll just throw it back in, and then we just got to run the wires to the rear. So everything's plugged back in. We just very gently, again, be really easy on this stuff. Snap it back in. Awesome. Cool, let's go run our cables. All right, so we're gonna start up here, and there should be a body panel clip back there, but mine just doesn't have one. Just wanna kind of gently pull away. There we go. That pops off. And then same thing down here. Go ahead, yep. Just pull that away. Be gentle, because it's old plastic. And then we're just wanna tuck this up, probably maybe up here, and then down, because we're gonna have plenty of cable here. So we'll put it down here, and we'll start running it down this. There is a cable tray down here. Let me see if we have space in it. So I have a feeling I'll just break it. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna mess with it, because like I said, I don't wanna break it, but you can run it to the side of it. So on the inside, there's a big old cavity here, where if you're stepping on this, you're not gonna be stepping on the cables. So you see this black one, don't worry about the black one. That's just the backup camera I'm also running. Once you're here, you have your seatbelt to contend with. So I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of trying to run it underneath all of that, I'm gonna flip it back in front of the carpets. If you see up here, it's going in front of the tray, flip it back up on top of the carpet, and then bring it over like this. So we'll slide those over here. There we go. Or if you just pull back far enough, you can kind of shove them underneath just like this. There we go. Here, pull it back. Probably should have cleaned the truck first, huh? But that's all right. There we go, perfect. And now, you can feel they're actually free. You can pull them back and forth, and then just keep running it until you're behind the seat. All right, so we have everything we need. We have a little bit of power cable back here. We have our ground that I just pulled out, the audio we pulled, the remote we pulled, and there's a remote power on these. So this is a little gauge where you can kind of control how much power goes to it. I don't like these. I don't like running these up to where the driver and passenger are. So I'm just gonna plug it in and set it back here with it. All right, these are Phillips heads, so we're gonna do the power first. So we have obviously your 12 volt, remote in the center, and ground. Good thing they separated it. We're gonna back these all the way out, shove our ground cable in. I like to sort of twist them as I go, and then tighten it down. The remote is the same size port as the power and ground, which is kind of weird because it's a tiny little cable, but just make sure that it gets actually squeezed by that connector there. All right, and then I'm gonna plug in my remote and the audio. I'm gonna have to turn this over here to get the power in, because my power cable is pretty short. Make sure that the casings are going into the ports as much as they can. You don't want any wires exposed. So on the ground, it's not such a big deal, but on the power it is, right? And for the ground, don't judge me, but I'm seriously just gonna drill it into the back of the wall here, right into the cab. So that'll make it a lot easier for me. Perfect. I still haven't found a grommet for this, but I'm gonna grab a grommet, probably off a junkyard one, since I broke this one. And then I'll run the cables through that. But regardless, we're pretty much done here. So we're just gonna push this back down into place, set this down, And then I'll probably do like a double side sticky tape for the remote, just stick it right to the top there. And then as far as securing it, I'm not sure yet. It doesn't need to be like drilled into anything. I can probably get some Velcro and stick it right onto this material. I'll let you know what I do in the comments below. But for now, we're just throwing it back here. Last step, let's go connect the positive power and then turn it on and test it. This particular kit came with a pretty big connector at the top. So I'm gonna put it on the top nut. It doesn't really matter because it's all before the fuses. So I'm just gonna use the top one and we'll slap it on. All right, appears to be working. I'm not gonna play any music because I'll just get a copyright strike. But yeah, it's all there. Lights up, has different color modes. So if you click on it, you can change through all of them. And then you can do ones that have like sound. You know, you can actually kind of see it flickering a little bit. But yeah, some funky light modes. But yeah, here it is, it's working. I'm pretty darn excited. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to wait a couple days. I listened to it for a couple days, and honestly, it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. I actually had to turn it down because I just really wanted to supplement the existing door speakers. Overall, this was a pretty easy install. I've probably installed, I don't know, easily 100 subs into 100 different vehicles. And this is pretty simple, especially with that little hole that goes directly out of the cab. That and the fact that it's a truck with kind of space everywhere really makes it an easy install. Comment below what combination you did, what amp did you use, what sub did you use, and where did you put it in the vehicle. If you want to try the ones that I bought, go ahead and check out the description below where I'll put the links. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next one.